IMHO Talk Show. You got Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor, Ron, in the booth in the building. New year, new day. What's up, fellas? What's up, fam?
What's poppin', Slim?
What's up, fam?
2021, we here.
That's right. We made it through. Another calendar year, whatever that may mean to everybody individually, is another day, another dollar, Razor.
Yeah, I'm brand new this year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm on that.
All right, so the new year matters to you.
BS. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, let's get at about a week.
Yeah. I'm on that right now. You got to call my people to talk to me.
Oh man, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. But we definitely out here, still here for the people. Bringing the world to Cville and taking Cville to the world. On the bigger and better things. And as we do that, it's good to still, get rid of the toxic relationships, right?
Yep.
Like to detox of those, but to encourage and to improve those healthy ones. And within that, that's why we have family on the line still to help keep progressing our city and our airwaves and our media, talking about none other than Giles and Elliott. No strangers here from Cville Tomorrow. And we also have no stranger to the city, Sarad Davenport.
He went to church on you, Sarad.
When you talk to Brother Sarad, you got to take him to church because the brother's always so insightful. Never talk to that brother without an encouraging word coming through, for sure. Hey, so Happy New Year to everybody. What's up? What's up? How y'all feeling?
Happy New Year. Feeling good.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
man.
Happy New Year. Actually looking forward to getting started on, all the different goals I've set for myself. So, and looking forward to doing some good work in our community. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Elliot, can you hear us loud and clear, sir?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you, man. You doing well? 2021, baby.
Yep, I'm rested up, ready to get back to it.
Got you. Good stuff.
Doesn't sound that convincing, does it?
I hope y'all wasn't expecting no more out of
Texting
Elliot.
8:35 tomorrow.
I mean, Elliot, you probably on the waters of the Atlantic down there, aren't you, man? You should be revived. You should have to, I know it's a little chilly in them waters with the sand running through your toes and stuff, but it is what it is. It's Sarad. I think we got Sarad with us.
Hey,
Happy
New Year, everybody. I'm just trying to not let y'all boost my head up. I'm gonna stay on the keep my.
He was actually in church, I think.
Yeah.
No, see, there you go. Yeah,
Man, so yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, you good? You had something else for us?
Oh no, I was just saying I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground here, y'all.
I feel you, man. So without further ado, we thought it would be good to kick off not only the year but the show. With something that we sort of been teasing through the end of 2020. Through it all, we found ourselves and our communities needing to be heard, needing to be seen, and so within that was birthed the Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project. And Giles, how about we let you do the honors of giving the folks the background of CIM, Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project, and then Max, Elliott, Sarad, be ready because then you guys, we'll probably take a quick break and you guys can chime in on the roles that the individual entities play, and then we'll have at it. But Giles, Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project, sir, please do the honors of formally introducing to the folks.
All right, I appreciate the opportunity for sure. It's exciting. It's what I'm looking forward to in 2021 for Charlottesville Tomorrow, and just to extend this collaboration that we've built and to find more resources to fuel it and to fuel the conversation. But I guess the origin story, you can trace it. Everyone has their own origin story for CIM. It's one of those things, right? Like Troy's is the walk to Pad Thai. Charles, we met you in various basement restaurants around the city. Sarad, we came to you back at the coffee shop years back. Mel's Cafe. It's I'm joking, but it's like it really has been the result of relationships between people and media, and finally getting it that if we're going to build a healthy media conversation in Charlottesville, we have to earn the trust of Black audiences, and we have to represent our African-American brothers and sisters better in the media in a way that is inclusive. And that's for everyone. But that means that whoever experiences local news and local news media is like, yeah, that's me. That's for me. That's me making it. That's me on the other side. That's me who's representing. That's me who I can tell my aunt about the story that I was in. You know, all those things that are supposed to be what a healthy conversation representing a citizenry to its public interest and to itself, to each other, to other entities is. And we just know we haven't had that in Charlottesville. Not historically, not recently, not ever. And I think that's part of the origin story of, in my humble opinion, and Max's journey and your guys' journey with each other and to the mics. And it's for sure, I know, part of Surratt and Eddie's origin story with Vinegar Hill. It might be their origin story in a sense. It's like, we have to fix this. And so at Charlottesville Tomorrow, seeing that we put a lot of resources into trying to cover the news, understand the national conversation around this stuff is also in the same place, or maybe even behind us, right? Like maybe even behind us, which is to say, if you're going to fix any problem in any place, you need a healthy conversation where people can build shared truth and trust around what the solutions that are being proposed. People don't trust the news right now. They don't trust each other. They don't trust systems. They don't trust the past. They don't trust each other across generations. We know all these things, right? Everybody knows all these things. So what do you do to fix it? And I think for us, we just figured, let's start with us. Let's start with us. And then when COVID hit, I think it just made sense, the collaboration for CT getting on the radio with you guys to trade facts, perspectives, to share them. And then a month after that, we get a big Facebook grant to work with Surratt, who masterminded the Determined series and really already early on taking a long-term look at what the social determinants of health are going to look like as a result of what happens here, and how the disproportionate impact is going to affect people in every way, their neighborhood, their job, their outlook, everything. So we got these grants to work together through the summer, and then it just, I think, made sense to everyone that we needed to keep going. And to do that, we had to find some money to do it. And we were thankful at the end of the year that the Google News Initiative invested in us, funding 150 grand, not the be all and end all, but enough for us to go thirds with it, the three partners, go thirds with it and make some real things happen. And really think in 2021, we can show that to our African-American audiences, that this partnership works for them, as a lot of big decisions get made in Charlottesville and a lot of crucial kind of community moves to get past where we still 2017, but you could say 2020. I mean, you could say always and forever, right? So we know this is a long path. We're not everything, but it's just a chance for us to start together on centering a media conversation around the truth and identity of our Black audiences and readers and citizens, and let truth build out from there, and keep doing it, in all quarters for everybody in the community. It's inclusive. But it starts with trust in Black Charlottesville, Black Central Virginia, trust that the media can work for them. Yeah, man, thank you for that great introduction. Do the people agree? That boy good. That boy good.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis, only on 101.3 Jams.
Hey, Surratt Davenport is on the line, y'all, from Vinegar Hill magazine. I think it's fitting to kick it over to Surratt because we're talking a lot about Charlottesville. We're talking a lot about media coverage. So, Surratt is someone who, as a person, as a professional, is known and respected in the city, and has a great publication which is Vinegar Hill magazine. So I think, Surratt, man, you should go first when it comes to talking about your role, like introducing the people to Vinegar Hill magazine that may not know about it and the role it plays in CIM.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I'll make the long story short. So, Vinegar Hill Society started as like a newsletter around 2010 through 2011, I think. Our founder, Eddie Harris, and some people from the grassroots and grass tops, decided to start a newsletter to like really cover the African American community. And I kind of came in later. When I moved back to Charlottesville in 2012, I saw that they had like one or two issues of the newsletter out, and I had some media chops. In fact, a lot of my undergraduate degree was in media. I interned at the New York Times as an undergrad at the Shared Services Center in the communications department. So, I understood document design and editing and what it took to like make a publication. And I asked him, I was like, "Yo, can I get down? I just want to help out." And Eddie was like, "Sure." And then we developed this relationship, whereas we had this newsletter for a few years. And then like, there was a music artist who had got, he was a Morehouse grad. He was from Charlottesville, but he had got a spot on the BET Music Awards. And I was like, "Yo, this might be the leap for us to like turn this into a magazine." Eddie was like, "Yeah." So we got the cover story and we was like, "All right, boom." So we made the leap to a magazine. And then we added the website. The website was the game changers. Like, when people started to collect their media in different ways, particularly on the web, that was the game changer. And then we kind of back into the magazine. The magazine became bigger after we launched the web version. So, but yeah, it's all about inclusive media, because the idea is that the African American community is not covered in a way that humanizes Black people, right? In a way, so, and if you dehumanize people, then it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's our idea. We want to bring asset-based. There's more complexity to the African American community than there is just like crime and violence. And although sometimes those things are issues, but there are more dimensions, and the humanity is much deeper than those things that become, a self-fulfilling prophecy in our community. And we want to be a part of the change and be a part of creating a more inclusive social narrative, which is listed in the mission of Vinegar Hill Magazine. And we feel like, slowly but surely, people think this is fly by night, but like I said, we're talking like almost 10 years.
That's right.
Like we've been grinding. We've been grinding. It's finally, bearing fruit. But we've been working from like a 2-page newsletter all the way up to this point. So we had a vision, and Eddie had a vision, and my job was to help to bring that vision to reality and really make something long lasting in the Charlottesville community.
Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, if it's cool, Elliot, you want to just plug CT real quick? I know most of our listeners are aware because you guys on the radio with us, but just to sort of just formally plug, introduce CT, and then Max, if we kick it over to you, and then you can take us to break.
Okay.
All right, Elliot.
Yeah. So with Charlottesville tomorrow, like Giles was saying, is that we wanted to build this trust in the media, and that's I've been doing this for almost 15 years now, and that's something I haven't seen in a lot of places that I've worked. Is that I've been in newsrooms where I was the only Black employee. I've worked in places where the city was majority Black, and I was still the only Black person going out there. And you hear from people that like you don't see anyone else in that outlet unless something bad happens. You're the only one who ever comes out here, and we don't trust what's going on in that paper. Or like here in Charlottesville, for example, where there's things going on that affects the Black community, but people don't find out about it until it's sometimes too late to do anything about it. And part of my goal is to get this information out, to build that trust, so everyone in the community is informed, everyone can participate in what's going on in Charlottesville to make things better, to make things work for them, not just the city's doing things to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Miss Max?
Where do I start? So I'll ask my listeners to just humor me for a little bit while I go through the whole. Take my. You guys getting feedback?
Yeah, we're getting a little feedback from you.
Yeah. I don't know why though. All right, I'm gonna try to talk through it. Hopefully, it doesn't throw me too much.
That's good. That's good right there.
Right there.
Okay. So yeah, if the listeners would just humor me for a little bit, because I know they've heard this story before, but it's important nonetheless. So way back in probably 2010, I decided, as a single mom of 3 at the time, I decided to try to, get some classes under my belt in terms of voice acting, in terms of television announcing, radio announcing, things like that. Did a bunch of Google searches, and I was trying to fast track it a little bit. So my searches turned up with a place called the Columbia School of Broadcasting. Mm-hmm. And like I said, at the time I was a single mom, I was driving this really old Honda Accord. This school was in Vienna, Virginia. And it was just requiring me to travel there 1 day a week, but still I was driving a really old car. Mm-hmm. And so I took it to the mechanic and I said, give it the run through, let me know what the problems are. We go from there. Just trying to see whether or not it was sound enough for me to take that trip. Mm-hmm. And when I got the report back, it seemed like every box on the paper was checked. And it was pretty much telling me, do not drive this car, for all intended purposes. But, the guy that passed me that piece of paper, I asked him, despite what the paper said, whether or not this car could make it. And he said it would make it. And that was all I needed. And so from that point forward, I started to take these weekly trips up to Vienna, and take these courses, right? And part of a class project was to develop a radio program. And so had a teacher at the time that every time he taught something, every other word was interjected with the phrase, in my humble opinion. Didn't mean anything to me at the time, but he said it enough times for it to jump out to me. So when it came time to create this radio show, I started to put together all these segments, got all these ideas running through my head, time to name it. I said, I'm gonna call it In My Humble Opinion, right? It's permission to say what you want to say and not not care. So, had originally planned to start this show with a group of girlfriends, a group of coworkers. Unfortunately, one of them passed away, and one of them left the place where we were working at, and so kind of just fell by the wayside. And I just put the whole idea in the back of a desk drawer. Driving to Charlottesville one day, heard on the radio that Charlottesville was starting this new hip hop station, 101 Jams. Got in touch with a friend of a friend of a friend and said, hey, I got this radio show. You think that this station would be interested? He put me in touch with the show director, Jaquan Middleton.
Shouts up. Chief Rock.
And he and he told me, Jaquan told me, this was around Christmas time we were talking, and he said, I got this guy's name is Charles Lewis. And if he's interested, I'm interested. I said, Charles Lewis, so, and Charles and I have some history together. We grew up going to church together and whatnot.
Praise God.
And so, long story short, at this point, that's kind of how we connected. And so, In My Humble Opinion was always created to be for the people. It was supposed to be a place where we could talk about issues that were important to us as a Black people, topics that we wanted to hear about, topics that we were afraid to talk about, topics that could bring us together. And it was also intended to be a place that could really be a bridge as well, because of a lot of the same issues that we're dealing with in our households, the door behind closed doors. It's the same issues that people are, that our counterparts are also dealing with. Mm-hmm. And so it was also intended to be that bridge in that way, and to show people that we're more alike than we are different. And so, this CIM project goes right up that alley. Yep. It's all about inclusion. It's all about hearing what people's truths are, about telling their story, not what it looks like from your 500-foot angle, mm-hmm. but to really get down in the community and say what's important to you. but what is this really? What do you really need? How can we really make a difference? What changes are you really hoping for? And so, with this project, I'm hoping to just do that on a grander scale. And then we've made some alliances here, Vinegar Hill and Charlottesville Tomorrow, who together, we can really accomplish big things here. And so, I'm excited about the project. I'm excited to really make true change in people's lives, because I believe there's some power and some victory and some value in adding to the quality of people's lives. And so, that's what the goal is since day one.
Thank you for that. So you know what? Now I get it. Like, that's why you speak so eloquently and so, clearly and thoughtful. Columbia School of Broadcasting. Shout out. It showed right there, Miss Max. I mean, like, you had a captive audience.
Yeah.
The Voice. Yeah. Remember we used to call it The Voice, right?
The Voice, yeah.
The Voice. Before we go any deeper, Miss Max, how about a quick break?
Yeah, let's go to break. When we come back, I'm assuming more conversation with the CIM team.
Right.
We'll let you guys know what's in store. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis, only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHOTalkshow still here, y'all, still standing. And we are with our partners of the Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project. How about to start this segment as we delve a little deeper into, actual substantive, the tangible things. I'm going to kick it over to Razor.
All right. Like, I'm going to catch them up on a little bit what we were talking about in between the break. And it's like, okay, everybody's listening. Okay, everybody's telling what their part is from their own private entity. But what does that really mean? Like, what does the CIM project do for Charlottesville? So when you get to that, that's when you get to the meat and potatoes. So let's say, for instance, we start talking about the murders here in Charlottesville. Let's say we talk about the, and this is in my humble opinion, we talk about the disaccord, what's considered to be leadership here in Charlottesville. Let's talk about how we have people that were once together in Charlottesville to form a powerful force that are now at odds, that we're viewing on social media every 5 minutes, which for ordinary people, you would say, okay, that social media has nothing to do. But if you look at it, there are valid issues that's being brought up, even if the approach, in my personal opinion, looks messy, So the Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project is all of that. We have realized, we already knew, but we're starting to show other people that the way that traditional news was broadcasted isn't exactly Black people's story. We have a way that we talk. We have a way that we present information. So when we tell you that we are for the community, that is the engagement that we need back from our people in the city to make this better. Instead of, you have to look at it from both sides of the coin. We complain that media, white media, writes about Black people as if we were animals in a zoo. And they write about Black people without talking to Black people. But at the same time, when you have an entity as what CIM has created, which honestly, there is no model. We are the first of our kind to do this type of thing, and we are proud that we are that. So that means don't stand on the outside and look to see what we're doing to try to find fault. Engage so that we can make this thing better tomorrow than it is today. For those that we said this one time before, but I need to really reiterate this, is that we have three powerful entities that have came together for one common goal, right? Yes, there are people who have been doing this work solely before we got here. So when we do things, it doesn't discredit what you've done. We're just building on to what you did.
That's right.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that because you were in this space, we have to come through you to reach the people because you feel you're a trusted entity. It doesn't work that way. Like, you have to check yourself, you know what I'm saying, in order for us to grow.
I was going to say before you wreck yourself, but okay.
That's just...
It was perfect. I'm just saying.
It was absolutely perfect. But in that, just like Aaron is saying, like, we can dismantle, we can go off course if if people allow their emotion to feel like they're being left to the side.
Yeah, and I'm curious who wants to chime in on that next. But the one thing that I'll say real quick is, like that's one thing that I've taken pride in on what we've built here through 101 Jams, at IMHO, is the fact that when it comes to being the voice, right? In my humble opinion, is a perfect title, Max, because we out here sort of setting the table, right? It's like we're expanding the reach, the community media reach, but we never, as far as I can recall, ever on here saying like that what we saying is scripture without having the people in the community come in, without having the local business people come in, the community member, the nonprofit leader. Like, this is your media. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, so if we didn't prove that enough, that's why you have Charlottesville Inclusive Media, to make it feel even that much more.
Yeah, I want to chime in here. I think, part of the beauty of the Charlottesville Inclusive Media Project is that there is not always full agreement on everything, right? And I think part of the work is that we have decided that in spite of our, kind of ideological differences or things like that, and I have a certain perspective because I was born and raised in Charlottesville. Right. So, my perspective on things might be a little bit different from others, is that we've decided in spite of those things that make us different, we're going to come together and exist and work through the tension, right? And working with legacy white media and also African-American led media, we've decided that we're going to do the work and model appropriate behavior in working through the tension. So,
absolutely,
it doesn't when we don't necessarily agree, it doesn't offend me in any way. It just says that, all right, how do we come to a place where we can have some integrity to the mission that we have designed and lifted up, while and existing within that tension. I think is fine. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's the work. That's what makes it hard. And I think it's fine that, it is hard. And we just so happen to be one of the entities who have decided and made a decision that we're going to do the hard work to present an inclusive product. And that, and one thing else is that's part of the work. So don't discount that as part of the work. Some people are like, what are we going to do? We already doing it. Right.
That's right.
So like, it's not like there's more to do, but the fact that we've come together is half the work, right? It's coming together and deciding to work in spite of those differences that we might have. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, Saray, while you on the mic too. Yeah, man, Saray, while you're on the mic too, man, because I have to imagine that this is part of the motivation to do such a thing as Vinegar Hill Magazine, which is, you growing up here. Right, you becoming a minister here, so pastoring people, you being right in the thick of things in the community, a city of promise, and so on and so forth. Like, what stands out to you as far as stories, representation in the media that seem most important to you? Like I said, I gotta imagine that has crossed, the calendars of Vinegar Hill Magazine, and maybe one of the inspirations for it. Like, but what stands out to you? Being a man of the community that we need to make sure we tackle.
Well, what I see is that, I talk about this like self-fulfilling prophecy of media, right? I think that in the vast, kind of landscape of Charlottesville, often people see within the Black community a desert. But in my work, like in the community and down in the trenches, I see a very vast oasis. There's untapped innovation, untapped talent, untapped just people who have so much to offer, who aren't their ideas aren't being unearthed, their creativity that they are deploying in the community in spite of the obstacles are not being lifted up. And it's really to the detriment to the entire community as a whole when we don't have these kind of inclusive perspectives and innovation that are lifted up. So like what we've done is made it our business to lift up this innovation, this, kind of community innovation that's happening that doesn't necessarily get airtime, to make sure that people understand that it's not just the desert, but there is an oasis and there's like brilliance. And we have to really kind of understand, if we understand that there is brilliance out there, and just imagine if the resources were distributed in an equitable way, how much that brilliance would come to light and transform our community and make it more healthy in all sectors and aspects. So, kind of like how we, distribute resources in an equitable way in communities dictate how much this brilliance gets lifted to the top. So, that's been our work, to really lift up this brilliance, because people always see the problems, but I always see the people doing the amazing and great things. Now there are problems, don't get it twisted. There are problems, but there are some people doing some amazing and great things, that not only being resilient, but oftentimes thriving in the midst of great forces and pressures that are against them.
Yeah, that's
Spot on. Sarad.
Yep.
Hey, one of the best things that I like about this project is that when we actually look across, there will be little children that will look at us, and for like me, they'll say, okay, that person had some pitfalls in their life that rose to this occasion. They'll be able to see somebody like you that grew up here, that left and is coming back to do works. They'll be able to see like us working with, like you said, predominantly white media institutions that are not using us. You know what I'm saying? We all have our own platforms that we have stayed with, even though we're together. So we'll have people that won't understand our model, because, like I said earlier, because it hasn't been done before. It's not like Charlottesville Tomorrow has us as a figurehead, or we're, telling Charlottesville Tomorrow, Giles, because you're white, you want to give us some money and let us do our thing and then leave us alone. We're actually inclusive. So that's going to rub white and black wrong. It's the fact of it is. But it also can be a model for how the next generations operate. Yeah. Nobody has to be on the totem pole. Yeah. Everybody can be sitting at the table eating together.
Yeah. Speaking of next generation, what stood out to me that both of y'all said, and I kick it to you, Miss Max, is the fact about their resource, right? Because one thing that I've learned in any realm of business, it's like who you connected with, like who is more important than what you know.
That's right.
A lot of the times,
your
right?
Connections.
So one of the benefits I see for the community is realizing that we need to always, leadership is training the next leader.
Yep.
So us opening up that opportunity of learning about media, not only that you're represented, but you know how to take part in it, is huge. Yep. It's even bigger.
Candle loses nothing by lighting another candle.
Yeah, that's right. And we talking about whether it's the next reporter, journalist, radio DJ, or if we're talking about a business that just needs their foot in the door, need to learn about marketing and advertising.
Right.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis, only on 101.3 Jams.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add that, community is really the thing that powers this. We are kind of orchestrating things from our perspective, but, we can really only be as effective as the people that live in the Charlottesville community get behind us and help us to be. And so it is vital that I know things are the atmosphere right now is really untrusting, but it is vital that people at least give us an opportunity to do the work. And that goes back to a lot of what all of you have said, which is that engagement part. We want you to be just as much a part of this as we are. And, I was listening to what you were saying, Sarad, and while we have a lot of untapped talent and we have a lot of people who aren't shown in the right perspective and things like that, a really significant part of this project for me personally is to make sure we grow the minds of people. And I've really said that since day one, because I believe, like the old adage goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And so whether people believe in themselves or their communities or their families a certain way because of what someone has told them or because of what someone has told themselves. Either way, we have to kind of break that door down. We have to really develop a new man and develop a new mindset in order for, I believe, CIM to have that real effect that I believe that all of us are hoping for, right? We can offer the opportunities, but we can't make people take the opportunities. We can't make people be good stewards over the opportunities. We can't, and the list just goes on and on. And so that's really, for me personally, what I'm hoping that we can dig down deep in is growing a new people. But again, give us an opportunity. I know it's hard to trust right now, whether people look like you or they don't look like you. And unfortunately, I'm just going to say it. Our people can sometimes look at the money or look at who you're working with or look at who got the money and say, they this and they that. So I ain't fooling with them, but we should all be working towards the common goal if we are all trying to eradicate the injustice, the social injustice that affects the Charlottesville community. And so, I've don't call my way wrong, and I won't call your way wrong. It's one of those things. We are all working towards a common goal, and we should really kind of fortify ourselves in that way and put our backs to one another so that we can fight on all fronts.
Razor, that girl must have went to church this morning.
Yeah, she did. Oh, you ain't watched the body this morning. You ain't see the body this morning. She told up.
I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, she told. It's on there. You can still look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just too much division. I'm sorry. It's just too much division, and I'm hoping that the CIM project can help with that. They can be a bridge, and they can help. Just put to bed some of the things that we're dealing with in this community.
Let me find out.
Yeah, I think for me, thinking about just what it means to be in media these days, it's a start over for that as well, right? Elliot and I came through legacy newsrooms that were dysfunctional, and we knew it going through it, right? But we liked the path and the skill set and the experience that came with the job of journalism, its portability, that the sense you were working for the community, the sense that there was something called truth out there. But we felt all that stuff start to get distorted as the companies fell apart, as they stopped. It wasn't that the newspaper was working for you, it was working for it, and that was true no matter who you were in their system. And then when you put race on top of that in the South, right? And I've talked about this before in the show, and like even my family's history in Sheffield, Alabama, and publishing it. Like you put that on top in the South, and it's a system that needs to be remade. And but journalism is a thing.
True.
And it's a thing that you can teach, and it can be organizational. And I think there's something so important about that, because right now, media can be one person lighting up Twitter with their one perspective. But when you bring organizations that had differing perspectives all into a conversation and actually with shared power, and then you bring multiple organizations that are also diverse into that, and then you invite their audiences who they have spent week after week, day after day, doing the work to coalesce together in that conversation. It's not that you get people who agree. It's the opposite of that.
Right.
But you have conversations that are bigger. Everybody's crew comes to the party. It doesn't mean they all dance together. But that's what makes the thing live and real and accountable, right? And so it is about the audiences, and it is about our accountability to you as our audiences, both individually and collectively. But now we feel like this is going to be a lot more fun and a lot more like, Charlottesville's problem is its race problem. It really is. On the white side, on the black side, in the wealthy side, and the low wealth side, all its problems can be traced to this, So who's going to be part of the solution?
Hey, Giles. Hey, so Giles and Elliot, with that background you guys have, and we talk about, the resource, and the equity of our media, right? Like, what's your word to the folks who don't consider themselves part of this urban community, like that still read the Charlottesville news or may be supporters of CT and they see you doing this work, like, but they may be of another race, another mindset.
You're in too. You're in too. Come along, man. You know, you're going to enjoy this, and you're going to enjoy what truth looks and feels like when it's true. You know, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the point. Even if you're the Wall Street Journal, I love truth in journalism guy, who rolls your eyes every time you see bad punctuation and wants that person fired because of that. Even if you're there, you know, even the old school values of journalism, this is where they need to go. Because when you say you're working for the truth, it's now means at every level. And you might not know when you're there, you know, but we can use our skills as journalists in partnership with all kinds of people to do the right thing and to serve. And that's what we're trying to do. And bring the model back so that there's cash for independent Black media to do its thing too, right? I mean, so because we can't do what you guys do, you know, and we want to be a part of that too. So yeah, I mean, Elliot, you know, I'd love to hear what you have to say about just how effed up newsrooms have been for so long and what this could do for us as people and journalists.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say was that if you're not in the quote urban community bubble, and like, you still need to come along for this, because if you're going to say that you're for the truth, it's that truth can't be just in your bubble. That truth is built in all of these bubbles. It's built on the backs of a lot of these bubbles that you can't work for the community without it being all of the community. And I've seen that far too many times in all these places that I've worked, where it's just you would think some of them like Black people didn't exist because like there was just nothing there for them. And it's like, well, then why would you even look at that publication if there's never anything there for you?
Right.
And Charlottesville's like one of these. I said it, you know, we noticed it right away. It's a small pond with a lot of big fish. And that's true in every piece and type of Charlottesville. It's true in Black Charlottesville too, white Charlottesville, like what Sarad said. I mean, there's so much talent oozing out of this town, so much human capital in this town, and a lot of times is working against itself or in each other's way or in isolation or for a national audience to look pretty, right? And like, you know, we should thank Charlottesville Area Community Foundation for being the first local funder to invest in the CIM. Ebony, Bug, and Diamond Walden in particular, for recognizing that this is also a priority, you know, in at a time when the community needs, you know, resources for so many different things. And so, yeah, respect and humble gratitude to everybody who's already helped. S&P Global Foundation has made an earmark donation to the CIM. People see why this is important. That's not the urban, you know, audience. The vice president from S&P Global saying he wants to give to this, not to us, to this. So, you know, I think, and Google News, we can't. Charlottesville Tomorrow wasn't in line for any Google News Initiative grants. CIM went straight to the top of the line, right?
That's right. Yeah. Say it for the people in the back.
Maybe Sarad was doing more work behind the scenes than he told us.
Always.
His Capital Beltway perch up there.
Yes, indeed. Hey, I'm glad y'all said it before we go to break, y'all. I look back, right, when me and Max first started, had the hot dog cart on the downtown mall, right? I can remember Elliot walking past me, long brown trench coat, the brown hat on, the red glasses, looking at him. I can remember seeing the skinny white guy dressed in all black on the other side walking down there. Yeah. I can remember Sarad. He was, I believe, y'all first guest when we were over at the other side, right? Like, so I always say God always puts everything in your path that you need, but they'll come at an appointed time. You know, so yeah,
absolutely.
Check out the new Ty Cooper video on the CIM coming out one day soon.
Yeah. You better give Ty his accolades. That joker will text you.
All right, Miss.
Love you, Ty.
Hey, Miss Max, you want to take us a break? Hey, but thank y'all, everybody with CIM. You know, y'all feel free to hang out, you family, but we got to close the hour. You know, thank y'all, Sarad, Giles, Elliot. Looking forward to the great work. Staying in touch, being visible.
Yeah, I'm excited about this project. Mm-hmm. You just you feel hope when you talk about it. Like you feel optimistic. You know, you feel like there's something really good on the horizon. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing your Sunday with us. Feel free to stay, like Charles said, but we're going to take a quick break.
Oh, Max,
get back into it.
Don't forget to tell them we're going to have merchandise coming out for them. So people that want to support the CIM project and have shirts and things of that nature, you know, contact Charlottesville Tomorrow, contact In My Humble Opinion, contact Vinegar Hill. You know, this is one way that you help show support.
That's right.
We'll have a unified website up in the next couple of weeks, so there'll be a one-stop shopping if you want to connect with CIM, but you can always just reach out to who you trust and know already in each organization, and we'll be there with for news tips, for questions, for anything, and appreciate it. It's such a talented group. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Just been really humbled through the year watching and working alongside and with all y'all. Such a talented group of people in the media. So
I agree.
So I'm very confident that we can work for y'all in a really positive way this year.
That's absolutely right. For the people.
All right. IMHO, y'all stay tuned. Next hour, much more show, and we still have yet to come. We're going to tackle the Virginia General Assembly, y'all. Don't forget about that. They vote the end of this January, and we want to talk about some justice reform, y'all, so you don't want to miss it. Much more show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor, Aaron, CIM, Cville. Stay tuned.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. And thank y'all. We made it to the bottom of yet another show, and we appreciate y'all. Am I right, Miss Max?
That's right. That's right.
Like, so how are we going to leave the people, Miss Max? Like, what tip we going to close on?
I mean, I think it wouldn't hurt for us to do a quick round robin and kind of talk about our goals for 2021. I'm saying, I mean, I don't know if you guys do the whole resolution thing, but
yeah.
What are you hoping for?
I mean, since we've only got 3 minutes left, Razor, Aaron.
Right.
You see how the engineer's trying to do that?
But like if I remember correctly, like none of us really dealt, like the traditional New Year's resolution, but we always trying to better ourselves and looking for any inspiration. So New Year's inspiration. So to me, man, number one thing is the detox from the toxic, right? And to ingest more of the healthy. And that's take it from
nothing wrong with that.
Detox.
That's it. What you got, Razor?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Shoot, I want everybody, since we had COVID and everybody was like locked down, couldn't, really be around nobody. I want everybody to find somebody that can, wash your back for you, because I know your back ain't been washed all year. So get somebody that can scrub your back, because your back nasty.
Somebody?
Yeah, somebody. Everybody. Somebody scream.
What you got, Aaron? Is they wearing a mask when they wash your back?
Yeah. Wash your back. Aaron? I know your back nasty.
Just a continuation from last year. I just want to. I myself personally, I just want to continue to develop the certain level of discipline that I have to have in order to help my community and my family. And that's just more discipline, man. More discipline and more focus. And I think we can have some positive changes this year, individually and collectively.
Yeah.
And
I got a lot of personal growth goals, and whether it is something that's a characteristic of mine, something internal that I'm working on, or if it's like a business idea or some type of endeavor that I'd like to pursue. I just got a lot of goals for myself. So not resolutions, just goals. And I want to see what it looks like if I stick to those things. So that's what I'm about for 2021.
Thank you. Well, Till next time, y'all, stay tuned. We got, much more show coming up. We're going to have, COVID update as promised. We approaching MLK Day, and as Charlottesville usually does it big with that, we have new leadership in that UVA, MLK observance committee, and they're going to come and join us and let us know how we can keep getting more involved in the community.
Oh, Charles, we forgot one thing.
Yes, sir.
For 2021, get a post-COVID backwash. Get somebody to wash your back because your back ain't been washed since COVID started. I'm just saying.
Sponsored by Razor.
Stinking up people's seats and whatnot.
It was a good first show, though.
Yeah.
Good opening to 2021. Yeah.
Thank y'all. So until next time, remember, hit us up. IMHO Talk Show. Signing off is Charles, Max, Razor, Ron. Y'all be good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.